Good afternoon, everybody. Phil Simons here with Columbia Grain and your Friday afternoon weekly grain market recap. Well, another week is in the book, so let's go ahead and dive right into it and take a look and see what the markets actually gave us here this week. I'm going to share my screen with you again, and we're going to navigate over to our favorite website, columbiagrain.com. And in the upper right-hand corner, we can navigate to the Producer Solutions tab, which will take us over to the Producer Solutions link. But realistically, we did have a few different aspects here that were driving the markets around. Notably was at the beginning of the month, we actually had the first winter wheat ratings come out for the year. And it's actually good to see when we see what the actual numbers came out at here. And for the first blush, we see the winter wheat crop is actually off to a fairly decent start here with the good to excellent ratings coming in at 54%. When we compare that to last year at this time, the first numbers that we saw last year actually came out at 28% good to excellent. So actually off to a little bit better of a start in the overall bulk numbers when we take a look at that. We see when we break it down by state, we actually see that Montana was coming in at 57% good to excellent, Idaho at 66%, Oregon at 71%, and Washington coming in at 51%. So the northern tier, quite honestly, is actually off to a fairly decent start. Similarly, in the breadbasket, we actually have a few pockets of concerns here and there, but overall, the numbers, when we look at the U.S. total, it's actually coming in fairly decent to start the year out. The other thing that we actually had here today was the French wheat conditions. Good to excellent actually slipped by about 1%. Coming in at 65% good to excellent now, which is actually a little bit lower and actually some of the lowest that we've seen for this time of year over the last 4 to 5 years. So definitely something to continue to monitor as we move forward. The other thing that we had, like we do every week, was the export sales report. And the numbers actually came in for corn pretty decent, 37 million bushels for sales last week. Soybeans coming in at 7.1 million. And when we look at the wheat complex, we're actually starting to see a good shift over to new crop wheat, which is definitely welcome, coming in at 9.6 million bushels overall for new crop wheat. Spring wheat getting about 4.5 million of that. Hard red about 1.2, soft red winter wheat at 1.1, and soft white at about 3.1 million bushels sold for new crops. So definitely nice to see some new crop sales getting on the books. But when we see how everything settled out on the week here, we actually see that new crop corn had a weekly range of 11 cents. And had a net change of a loss of 5 cents on the week here when the dust settled. For new crop beans, we actually see the overall weekly range of 23 cents and a net loss of 6 cents over there. And on the wheat complex, we see that Kansas actually had a weekly range of 29 cents with a net gain of 3 cents on the week. And Chicago wheat had a 29-cent range. Again, closing the week out with a net gain of 9 cents week on week here. And Minneapolis to wind everything down. I actually had a net weekly range of 26 cents and a net weekly gain of 7 cents in the week. So again, just a prime example of the importance of getting your orders out there and working, especially as we continue to move closer and closer into the spring months and into the more of a weather market driven area. So be sure to get your orders out there and working with your local managers, merchandisers, and buyers for accumulators, hedge to arrive contracts, cash contracts, and basis contracts, whatever it may be. Just be sure to get your orders out there and working to potentially capitalize on these knee-jerk reactions that we're going to continue to see as we move deeper and deeper into the spring months. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and wrap everything up. We will be out in North Dakota putting on some producer meetings, so hope to see everybody out there for those. We are going to wrap everything up for the weekend here, and remember, treat every day like it's Mother's Day. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk with you next week.